back to another video, or if you're new, welcome to a video, I guess. So this is another ScrawlrBox. I've been working up for a while. So this was the 093 box. And the challenge was Kaleidoscope. And I didn't really know what to do with this one. So I may have taken some creative liberties. But what else are these boxes for anyway? It's to spark your imagination, right? That's why I started buying those, because I was just really struggling with a art block. And I wasn't really very familiar with traditional art supplies since I did digital art for so long. And this was just a great way of exploring the different types of mediums. And I was not used to working this small, so that was also a good challenge. So they gave us these Ecoline water-based brushes in this box. And I actually have some from before. They're not this exact type, but I'm assuming it's the same ink because it's the same brand. And the only difference is that the ones that I have are not dual tipped and they are brush markers, while these have one bullet nib and a broad nib on the other side. Luckily, I didn't have any of these colors from before, so I decided to use the ones I have in this one. I don't really get to use them much, so it was just a golden opportunity. So it's quite nice that they included some color theory in the pamphlet, because, well, they are practically primary colors, so you can use them to mix whatever you want. So they gave us this Copic multiliner in size 1, and I got a Copic multiliner in a different size in a different box. So I decided I'm gonna allow them both to be used. The paper had, it wasn't a rough texture, it was quite soft, but it still had a little bit of tooth, which is quite common for acrylic paper or mixed media paper. They have quite a bit of layerability. You see, you can get all kinds of different colors, and they blend well together. I mean, it's kind of like using watercolors. So I was searching up Kaleidoscope, just Googling, and I came across these stained glass designs, sort of. And I kind of decided I just wanted to do that. I was inspired. I also had this bottle of liquid Ecoline. Unfortunately, it's a color I already had in a brush marker, but still, it was a lot more fun using the ink from the bottle than using the brush. Here I am swatching out the brushes that I had already, because I decided that I'm going to use the 3 markers from the box on the character in the front, and then I'm going to use these ones for the background. The window itself, if you will. And one of the markers were quite dried out, but I did find a use for it. Anyway. Trying out a few compositions because I wasn't sure if I wanted there to be a tree, right, as you can see here, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in the background or on the on the character. If you've seen my earlier videos, you might remember that I cut my finger a while back, and the scar is quite prominent, and it's sometimes hard to draw and write with it. It's like the feeling's just still not back completely. It's just, yeah, it's really weird. So here I decided to bring up A4 paper with approximately the same type of texture. They don't seem to have the same color of white though, which is interesting, but doesn't really matter. So here I'm trying out different types of coloring because I want it to be like a stained glass window, right? So do I want to color it in individual pieces? Or do I just want to color in a big piece? And then, you know, line work. And I'm trying different types of blending them together because some of them just eradicates all the color for some reason. And as you can see, I got a really nice skin color. So I decided to color in a bigger area. I didn't like how it looked when I did the individual pieces. The colors just they weren't allowed to, they didn't get to play enough, you know? Play with each other, as they were able to do here on a bigger space. I'm trying to make sure that I separate the different sections of the character. So since I have a very warm skin tone, I'm doing a cold hair color. The saturation on the pens, they just got sucked out when I in contact with water, so that was very time consuming because you had to like just draw till it came out again. And then when it dried, I had to go over it again because, yeah, the saturation was just so low. Too low for my taste. I could have done a better job on the face, but it always looks worse until it gets better. Up until like the 5%, it's gonna look like shit. And that's okay. You just gotta trust the process. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the time, you know, it turns into something. So here I'm making the shirt green. Really leaning in on the colors that didn't get to speak so much. Where I put all the colors. So on the bottom part I decided to use orange. Picking up some of the blue, a little purple, putting cool colors in the shade. So here I'm spraying some water on the back, putting some heavy shit on top, and it stays like that overnight. And then, you know, it straightens it out. And at this point I decided to make layers. So she will be in the foreground, and then the background will be the window, stained glass window. This was a really fun project. It took a while. Super time consuming. But it was worth it. I even bought some extra supplies just for this. So this is a ceramic knife. It's really small for these kinds of detailed this kind of detailed cutting work. And it worked really well. I mean, the paper is quite thick, so I was struggling a little bit. But you had really good control with this knife. I bought a different type. This one, but it was longer, but it was harder to control. So I went back to the ceramic knife. However, the other one was better for like fine, sharp edges. I bought them cheap off of, I think it was Temu. Didn't really expect them to be much good, but they're good. So I'm just trying out, you know, how high up I want it to be from the paper. Now I've got to figure out the background. I definitely want her head to just land inside this circle. Almost like a halo, but not. This thing was so hard to open. So right now I'm drawing out the I have no idea what to call it. It's the structure, I suppose. It's not the actual window, it's like the frame. And the wall, obviously. And at this point I'm not sure what I want to do, but I end up making this its own layer. So I started coloring in the back. I'm just checking on the front to see if it bleeds through or anything like that. But it seems to be fine. Now I decided to do the back of this one with the pen. Because it's kind of a place that you can see. And I wanted to be true to the box. But in hindsight, I could have just used a black acrylic marker. They do tend to shine more though. Yeah, so now I need the razor. The thing that raises her from the background. So I decided to just make a black little box, honestly. The only reason I didn't make it go all the way around so that you couldn't see behind her is that I just really wanted some natural shadows to fall on the quotation mark window, quotation mark. So when you hang it on the wall, like, it depends where the light's coming from, where you're viewing it from. So I didn't want this box to be very visible. And I don't think it is that visible. I'm pretty happy with it. And this time I decided to use the acrylic marker. I'm not wasting more of that wonderful Copic multiliner on this shit, right? So I decided to color these in as well with the pen. But this is because it gives it texture, right? Kind of like this rough texture. If I had used the acrylic marker, first of all, they are a lot more shiny. And that time I didn't know I wanted shiny. I mean, it does give really good coverage, this pen. But you can also see the strokes. And that was great. And as you can see, I did get to use the brush that was kind of dried out. It gave it a really nice texture. Oh, I just really loved how this turned out. It looks so good. Like the wall color there. Alright, so as you can see, this is gonna be another layer. Cutting it out was so much work. I had to push down so hard with this X-Acto knife. It's just, the paper was just too thick. Yeah, and that's so far we're gonna get in this video. I sprayed some water on the back, put some books on top, and so that it would get straight. In the next part, there's only gonna be 2 parts, I promise. The next part, I'm gonna start on the actual window in the background. So that's gonna be fun. I hope I'll see you there, and thank you for watching. Toodaloo!